Hi everyone, a new video today, and we're gonna talk about certificates in Kubernetes. Let's begin. So to start with this new content, let me try to explain this picture. We know the basics of Kubernetes, and it has a lot of components and they talk to each other within the cluster. And to certificate that this traffic of information is secure, the components use certificates inside the cluster. And as you remember my previous video, I showed you how do I emulate Kubernetes in my machine, and we're gonna use this example right now with a cluster with get nodes with 5 machines, 1 master and 4 workers. What's the main point here? I'm inside in the main folder with all the certificates in the cluster. When we are provisioning a new cluster, this is the folder where kubeadm saves the certificates and the private keys. So before we start with some commands, let's open in some references. And if you want to know a little bit how SSL, TLS and HTTPS works, you can watch this video. It's a great source of content, and it's not a long video, it's a short one. I recommend you to watch. And I have here some references from the documentation. Let me try to open these three new references. Here, as you can see, it's possible to generate these certificates manually using, for example, EasyRSA, OpenSSL, but in a normal Kubernetes, usually we do not do that. It's easier to use some kind of automation. For example, you can use kubeadm to provision your own premises cluster, or some other tool like kubespray that uses Ansible as well. And these links are useful to learn a little bit more about the certificates. You can see how they are used and which components use those certifications. So here we have some main root CAs that are gonna sign the next certificates for the components, and we have here some tables with all the details of all those certificates. Let's see now on my terminal, inside my terminal, some commands. Let me try to show you a little trick. As you can see here, I have some commands to create a new certificate. For example, if you provision a new cluster using kubeadm, that's my case now, you're gonna have access to this file called admin.conf. In this file, kubeadm automatically creates that certificate for us. So you do not need to worry about how you're gonna access those information. In my case, this file was moved to the root folder. So let's try to access this file on the root folder. cd/root.kube cat config. That's how kubectl can connect to the API. It's gonna use the main root in the file, the address of the server of the API. Here we have the information about the user. In fact, is information about the certificate generated by kubeadm, and this the private key to generate that certificate. Let's return to that folder, API, and here we're gonna try to create a new user. I already created the user Marcelo, but I'm gonna create a new one. Let me try to... It's easier to remove because we can just copy and paste the commands. So rm Marcelo dot... Alright, now I do not have those files anymore, so I can create a new key. Now with this key I can create a CSR file. It's the request to generate a new certificate for the common name Marcelo from the organization system masters. With this configuration, this certificate enables the owner to have the privilege permissions inside the API. So let's try to create this request. And now we can finally create the certificate. Now we have the 3 files. We can check the certificate using OpenSSL command. Text no out in Marcelo CRT. So you can see the issue. I use the main CA from the cluster. I gave 1 year of expiration date, and now you can see my common name here, Marcelo. And how can we use those information? Here, as you can see, I have a curl command to send a request to the API to get the name of the nodes, the content about the nodes of that cluster. If I try to use this command, I got the following response: forbidden. I do not have the right information to connect to the API correctly. So we're gonna repeat this same command but passing the certificates created before. And now you can see I can have access to all the information about all the nodes of the cluster. So the response is a JSON file. It's a real huge file, and you can use JQ to filter only for the names of the nodes. So as you can see, I have my 5 nodes here in my command line. The same result as kubectl. I can use the same principle with kubectl as well. So we need to disable that config file from .cube folder. Config backup. Now I cannot use kubectl to reach the API because I renamed the config file. And we're gonna return to the PKI folder. And now I'm gonna use kubectl get nodes, passing the right informations to the API. Let's see if it's gonna work perfectly. So that's the main idea. You can use certificates to authenticate and get the desired information of the API. That's the main idea of this video. If you enjoy, let some comments in this video. Bye.